Let's get into it. Let's go. Let's go. It's episode 570, Soul Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. We got Tucker Carlson, Adam Carolla, and in this episode, Tucker Carlson is giving us a prediction of what he thinks is going to happen in regards to Donald Trump. What is going to happen in terms of him running for president? What is going to happen at the end result of the election? And it seems rather dark, in my opinion, but he could be onto something. I'm going to let you decide. Before I do that, though, I have to bring you to IamCoachColin.com. All right, this is public enemy number one. We got this shirt here. Google the World Economic Forum. You'll understand why this gentleman is public enemy number one. And for those of you that survived the pandemic, get your certificate of achievement right here for being unscathed and untainted, certified pure blood shirt. And right here, get the shot heard round the world. I got my black and white styled one, but this one is color, if that's what you're into. And the newest design that we have out now, We the People. You will own nothing and be happy. What do you think of that? I know what We the People think. I don't think there's one person out there, left or right, that's happy with that statement whatsoever. So all of that's available at IamCoachColin.com. And if you want 10% off, no problem. All you got to do is put in the discount code, I am Coach Colin. You put that in, it's all capital letters. It's all one word. There's one L in the name Colin, and that gets you 10% off. And if you've done that with us, thank you so much. Your support means everything. And just putting this out there, this one right here, the black and white edition, we do not have that on the site. There is a pinned comment in the comment section of this video. If I get 10 replies or more of people stating that they want the black and white version, I will get that on the website as soon as possible. But for now, let's get into this clip.
Talk to you. So I always think about this clip, and I'm sure you've seen it too, where Schumer was on with Rachel Maddow in January 2017 and basically said, why is Trump agitating CIA, FBI, these agencies? Why is he agitating? And then he says the quiet part out loud. They will destroy you, which I think turned out to be a lot of what we saw. But at the very end, it's a little part I missed, and I think we should give it a quick listen.
But he's taking these shots, this antagonism, this taunting to the intelligence community.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
What do you think the intelligence community would do if they were motivated?
I don't know, but from what I am told, they are very upset with how he has treated them and talked about them. And we need the intelligence community. We don't know what's going on. Look at the Russian hacking. Without the intelligence community, we wouldn't have discovered it.
Then he goes on to cite something that didn't happen, that the intelligence community cooked up to take down Trump, as an example of why we need them.
I mean, I've heard that clip 1,000 times. Every time it renders me speechless. That's the end of democracy. And I don't know how you can, in the same sentence, say, I'm for democracy, and then say, actually, our country is run by a shadowy intel agency no one elected and no one has oversight over. I mean, it's not a democratic republic if the CIA can punish you as an elected president for doing things that they don't like. They're your employees. Speaking of the housekeeper taking over the house, they're like your housekeeper. Shut up and make the bed. Like the point of the CIA, as originally conceived, was to inform the president of what's going on around the world so he can make better foreign policy decisions. So the intel gathering apparatus of the U.S. president, they work for him. They have no constitutional legitimacy outside of him. Our system's super simple. The people who are elected by the public have all the power. They have employees to whom they delegate that power to get things done. But those employees have no independent power at all and no independent legitimacy. The CIA is a totally illegitimate criminal organization unless it is following precisely the orders of the elected president. Democrat or Republican, doesn't matter. So he's describing a crime. The people committing that crime in CIA should be in prison for long terms. That's the great threat to democracy right there. And the fact that no one on that set could even see that tells you how deeply corrupted they are. That's terrifying. And it's true, I happen to know. And I could bore you for hours, again, since I spent my life there and know a lot of people who work there. But the bottom line is there's no oversight at all. They were able to participate in the murder of a U.S. president and then hide that fact for 60 years by keeping those documents classified, which they still are. It's unbelievable. And it's happening in front of all of us, and nobody seems to care. But, you know, as the country declines and the democratic institutions weaken, and you wonder, how did this happen? Well, that's how it happened, right there.
What do you think the future holds? Is it...
I don't know.
I mean... Are they going to let Trump be president?
No, of course. I mean, look, if, they protested him, they called him names. He won anyway. They impeached him twice on ridiculous pretenses. They fabricated a lot about what happened on January 6th in order to impeach him again. It didn't work. He came back. Then they indicted him. It didn't work. He became more popular. Then they indicted him 3 more times, and every single time his popularity rose. So if you begin with criticism, then you go to protest, then you go to impeachment, now you go to indictment, and none of them work, what's next? I mean, graph it out, man. We're speeding toward assassination, obviously, and no one will say that, but I don't know how you can reach that conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, they have decided, permanent Washington, both parties have decided that there's something about Trump that's so threatening to them, they just can't have him. I mean, they're putting him on trial in March of next year in the J6 case, which basically consists of trying to send him to prison for the rest of his life for complaining about the last election. That's literally what it is. Again, if this were happening in Moldova, the State Department would issue an all-hands-on-deck order to let the world know this is not a legitimate government. And yet, our government is doing it. It's like it's hard to overstate how bad this is. And I don't know where it's going, but there's a collision that's clearly imminent. And by the way, the president is senile in a way that's impossible to deny. Biden's not running the government, so like, I don't know, man. I've never been this worried about anything as I am about where this is going.
Yep, there is the prediction. We are speeding to assassination. And you know what? As dark as it is, with everything that he's just said, he's very much he's right. He's right. There's no other way to really put it. And I hope that doesn't happen. I pray that doesn't happen. But, Andrew Tate even once said in regards to his situation, he was like, first they discredit you. Here's what I think. First, they have a closed door conversation with you that nobody knows about you joining up and getting your act together. That's what I think happens first. If you deny that, then they try to discredit you. If you get through that, then they go about putting you in jail. If you get through that, then they go about, having you pass away. That's really what I think. I think the levels are to this whole thing. But here's the thing about Trump. Even though he is at that part of that chain that I just said, he may be one of those people that's too big. When you're talking about Tate, no offense to him, but passed away. A lot of people would be sad, but if Trump passes away, it could be the worst thing to happen to America ever, possibly, given who's running things and the shadowy figures and agencies that are trying to grab a hold of everything and get more restrictive and more censor, and it would be really bad. He might be one of those people that is too big to have that happen to him. Because you have to think about it. If that happens to him, he has made such a strong connection to tens of millions of people, not just in the United States of America, but all over the world. There's many, many people all over the world that really see him as a beacon of hope. The same way that they've always looked at America as a beacon of hope and prosperity. They look at him like that now. It's very much true. So if all of a sudden you take him away, there's going to be tens of millions of people that are going to be outraged, that are going to be disillusioned, that are going to feel like they have no hope. That is not what you want. You do not want that. So I think the people who are in the shadows know better than to have that happen. You know? I would think. You know, the connection that he's made with the people, it's deeper than, like, JFK is one of the greatest presidents ever, in my opinion. I think he's the best. Like, besides Trump, I think he was the greatest president ever. And Trump's connection to the people is far greater than what JFK's was. Far greater. Far greater. So I don't think that's something that they want. And then another reason why I think this won't happen to him is it's just the aspect of, you know, I hate to say it, I mean, I've already made episodes about this, the whole Civil War aspect that kicks in. You know, you have to think, there's so many people that love Trump. If you love Trump and you saw someone celebrating that he passed away, what are you going to do? There's a lot of people who are going to do something, you know? So I don't think they want that. You know what I'm reminded of? I'm reminded of the story of Neo. I'm saying it like it's a story. The movie, Matrix, #3. The Smith agents were everywhere at all points. You know, they were Rachel Maddow. They were Anderson Cooper. They were the old lady down the street. They were just everywhere. Everywhere. They were taking over. And their biggest mistake, without even realizing it, was actually killing Neo. They didn't realize it. They thought that was what they wanted. But then when they did it, it actually tore everything down. Worse than they could have imagined. They were way better off just having him exist and fighting him than actually taking him out. And I think Trump's at that level. He's the one. He's Neo. Could you believe it? But I really do hope that's not the case with Trump. I hope that he stays alive, you know, because it's bad. It's bad. And here's the thing. There's people on the left right now who would be like, who cares? Buddy, it's bad for everybody if he passes away. And also, it's hard to see with a lot of people on the left, but it's really bad for democracy. If he passes away, I keep saying pass away, but you know what I mean. If that happens, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen to someone on the left. It's going to happen to someone on the right. People are just going to keep being installed. It gets really dark 20 years from now if Trump doesn't exist. 20 years from now, America gets very, very dark. Very, very dark. Right now, there's a moment. Vivek has talked about this. There's a moment right now where if everything works out the way that it can, the United States will become the greatest superpower once again. All of this talk of losing the dollar and this and that and this and that, all of that will stop in its tracks. The only reason that that's happening right now is because of who's running things right now. And I talk about the attack within all the time, and I won't get into that, but it seems very intentional, especially with the World Economic Forum having Agenda 2030. And part of their agenda by 2030 is there being multiple superpowers and the U.S. not being a superpower. It's literally part of their plan. They literally say this, and they have a bunch of public officials, Democrat and Republican, in their ranks. So I'm just saying. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about all this. Do you think Tucker Carlson is right? Do you think Trump is too big to have that happen to him? And what do you think will happen if God forbid that did happen to him? Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And if you want the black and white, let me know in that comment. Reply to that comment. Say I want one, and I'll make sure it happens. All right. Other than that, I am out.